It's been a bloodbath this week. Welcome to Pain Central. Let's dive into it and see what is actually going on. Of course, we're gonna start with the big daddy of them all, Bitcoin. Today, sitting at $22,615. In the last 7 days alone, it's dropped 24%. Guys, this is getting close to the bottom, I think, but we still have some room to go because we're seeing more pain in the stock market. The Feds are talking about rate increases. In fact, the next meeting is scheduled here in a couple days, and 3/4 of a basis point is on the table. So if we see a 0.75 basis point hike, I think we could potentially see 10 to 15% come off the Bitcoin price. Ethereum, even worse, down 31% and just hovering above that psychological line of $1,000. It's at $12.29 right now. It could certainly dip below that $1,000 mark by the weekend, and going all the way down the line here at the top 10, everything's getting hurt. BNB down 21%, Cardano 20%, XRP 20%, Solana 23%, Doge 30%, Polkadot 19%, and the list goes on. Guys, I don't see any green here. In fact, it is just bloody all the way down the line. So in this video, we're gonna discuss why crypto continues to get beat up, why we're continuing to see the capitulation of these tokens. Also, I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to deal with the FUD. All the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt does play a role both psychologically, and it could play a role in diverting us off our game plan. So let's talk about both of these things. Let's strategize and let's figure out how we are gonna come out on top and go into this next bull run and be badasses in the crypto game. So without any further ado, roll that clip. So the first thing let's look at is the Fed rate hike. And if you just Google Fed rate hike, there's tons of recent articles. What is coming down the pipe in the next meeting? And that's that 75 potential basis point increase. You know, Fed likely to boost interest rates. Biden acknowledges inflation, sapping the strength of a lot of families. We talk about JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs saying it's expected that rate hikes will increase 75 basis points. So everything's doom and gloom as far as rate hikes are concerned. What about ongoing issues inside the crypto industry? Well, we just learned about Celsius. Celsius now has paused their exchange, meaning people that gave over their crypto to a third party encountered third-party risk, which I've talked about several times. Not your keys, not your coins. Well, it's playing out in real time. Celsius is not letting people take their crypto off exchanges while they're moving their own crypto off of the exchange, possibly to protect their own backside. I don't know, but it's clearly a problem. Celsius freezes, puts users with money in tough spot. Celsius Crypto Bank freezes withdrawals. Bitcoin, Ethereum plunge as a result. Investors worry another possible crypto collapse will bring down other key players. Again, horrible news. This is not what we want to see, especially with all of these other things going on. What else, guys? Stock market crash. We simply look at what's going on here in the news. 90 billion wiped out as ASX crashes. Watcher.guru is reporting over 10 trillion has been wiped out from the US stock market this year. 10 trillion, guys, that is a huge number. And when we look at that in comparison to what the total market cap of crypto looked like last year, where it reached just over 3 trillion, crypto's a drop in the bucket to $10 trillion being wiped out at the US stock market. Let's look at what the current market cap of crypto is. It is now under $1 trillion, coming in at around $956 billion. So all of these things, along with market sentiment, lack of retail investing, people that are in a general panic, has now all contributed to these factors, when you combine all of these pieces, we're sitting here and talking about blood in the streets. So it's easy, guys, right now to get caught up in the FUD. The fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt is being poured on extra right now. The number one thing that we need to do is protect our mindset, what we can control and what we can't control. Look, I've always said, don't invest more than you're willing to lose, but let's assume you made that mistake. Let's assume you did invest more than you could actually afford and you're panicked and you're stressed out and you're consistently looking at the price charts and reading all of the opinions and listening to other people's advice. Stop, right? Because it's not gonna do you any good. What we have to do is shift the narrative and shift our mindset and start thinking like this. And this is the best piece of advice I could give you, and that's things happen for you and not to you. Hey, I'm in the same boat. At one point I was up over $1 million and now I'm looking at it at a loss. So I've seen my account go down over 95%. And of course it's natural to panic. Of course, I wish I would have taken profit. Of course, I wish I would have been smarter about my investments. But hey, this is how we learn and this is how we get better. So I'm looking at this opportunity to not only look at the mistakes that I've made, but control what I can control. And the only thing I could control right now, it's not the market, it's not what investors are doing, it's not what the price is doing, it's my mindset. And my mindset is this: I'm thankful for the opportunity that I had to learn. I'm thankful that I can continue to improve and get better for the next at-bat. And if you're in this long enough, you're gonna have another at-bat. You're gonna have another opportunity to right the mistakes that you made. And the only way you could do that is continue to study, continue to take positive reinforcement in your mindset, and then go out and enjoy your life. Go get your extra workout in, go take your significant other out on a date and not worry about this. But come back and devote maybe half hour to an hour a day to study the market, to see what your next play will be. And there's some amazing buys. Everything we're looking at is down 80 to 90%. Do you think Ethereum is not gonna come back? Do you think Bitcoin is not gonna come back? Do you think a lot of these L1s like AVAX, Cardano, BNB, do you think they're not gonna be back for another round? I 100% have high conviction in this market and in this entire crypto sphere. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even been in it in the first place. So is your conviction there? Is your mindset there? Is your game plan there? If you have all of these things going in to the next bull run, you will be successful. So the big question is, all right, with all that being said, how do we profit from this? How do we start laying our foundation so that when we come out of this, we're in great position? And I think it's actually obvious. It's starting to dollar cost average into the plays that you think are not only gonna survive, but thrive in the next run. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is that good when they can call the absolute bottom or the absolute top. It's bleeding right now, and how much more bloody do you need it to be to start dollar cost averaging in? You can probably double your money by just DCAing into the top 10 to 15 cryptos in the coin market cap. If you just opened up coin market cap and said, well, I'm gonna DCA into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot, and not even know what any of these do, I definitely think it's possible to double your money just by playing the game and holding for the next 2 to 3 years. But if you wanted to get a little bit more dialed in and wanting to get a little bit more strategic, well, you've got to formulate a strategy and a plan. What I like to do is I like to observe and find other people on Twitter, other investors, other influencers, if you will, that I feel have credibility. And that does take some time and some searching and digging. And right now, the sentiment is they're gonna start buying now. It's a good time based on where the market is to start dollar cost averaging into these plays. Now, what do you invest in? I have to leave that up to you because people are gonna have different methodologies, different strategies. For me, as I've always talked about, I want to spread my money across certain coins and certain avenues inside the crypto market. So if it's L1, if it's a DEX, if it's possibly a metaverse, but I'm gonna focus and position on where I believe there's some utility and some opportunity for growth. And I'm looking at the community again, the utility piece, how much development is coming into the project. Is there real money being spent? Is there real VC money coming in to support the continued infrastructure and growth of the token? Truthfully, none of these tokens really produce revenue outside of the next person buying for more than what you're willing to pay for. That's how appreciation occurs. Ethereum being a layer 1 smart contract platform. Now we've got some other L1s coming that are trying to take some of Ethereum's market cap. If you're looking at where market cap is, like I said at the beginning, it's less than 1 trillion. I believe on the next bull market, we will surpass the last bull market of just over 3 trillion and see a $6 to $7 trillion market cap. So I want to be owning some blue chips, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I want to be owning pieces of L1s that are going to take market share from Ethereum. I like DEXs, as I've said, PulseX, Pulse Chain as being an L1 because I'm an early investor, but I want to start getting into the AVAXs, the Polkadots, the Cardanos, potentially the Near protocols, the Rose. These are some of the ones that I'm looking at. And then I'm looking at oracles that will be the quote unquote plumbing of infrastructures that will continue to make the blockchain grow. These are my thoughts. Again, you guys have to do your own research, but I'm certainly looking at where we're at today and where I think the crypto market is going. And again, it's speculation right now because nothing is producing income. So here's 3 things that you need to avoid so that you can make this out alive. The first thing is avoid counterparty risk. And what that means is when you give your crypto over to a third party in hopes of a certain return or a certain yield. Take, for example, Celsius. That's exactly what people did. They turned over the rights to control their own destiny to a third party, and now potentially getting wrecked as Celsius, as I reported at the beginning of this video, is shutting down exchange and potentially putting other people's crypto at risk. We have seen that this does not work. So whenever you have to give over your keys, remember this, not your keys, not your crypto. Keep that in mind. That's a big no-no. Avoid third-party risk. You want to be self-sovereign in crypto. That's the whole idea, where you control your own future. The second thing we want to avoid is any type of new idea, new concept that has never been proven or has proven to fail. Take, for example, Luna and the whole underlying platform of stabilizing its whole tokenomics behind a algorithmic stablecoin, which depegged from the dollar and collapsed. We have seen that does not work. And now we've looked at certain things. For example, Tron is one that is in trouble. If you look at what Tron is doing, again, it's another variant of a algorithmic stablecoin. So Tron crypto right now is in the middle of some issues. The price is down, obviously, and the DAO is now continuing to pour into reserves to hold the peg and to hold its reserve. So again, we could see another potential collapse. Again, I don't like it because it is unproven in this market, and I want to avoid anything that is not proven. I'm not putting my money into it, and neither should you. And finally, the third and last thing you want to avoid is buying into something based on future promises. So if it's being pitched as we're going to build for the future, or this is going to change how things are done in XYZ, that is something that is selling you hype with no underlying core or underlying development that's happening now. I want to invest in something that's already either done or proven. So again, that's why I like Hex, because it's an immutable code. And basically what immutable means, it means it can never be changed. It's already been set in stone and can never ever be modified, not even by the creator, Richard Hart. And he said this over and over again, not your keys, not your crypto, immutable, and no third-party risk. That is why Hex checks all those boxes for me, because I could mint my own rewards, I could stake my own crypto without having to give over my information or my keys, and I can control the outcome because the code is already written. I know that if I stake my crypto, I'm going to earn up to 38% APY without any third party or counterparty risk. That is why I believe Hex will make it through the bear market, despite all the FUD, despite all the claims that it's a Ponzi, despite all the claims that it's gonna collapse. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's one of the only few cryptos that has had 100% uptime. And in this day and age, that's something to be said. 100% uptime, no counterparty risk, your own keys, and a finished immutable project. That is what crypto is all about, and that's why I continue to have faith in Hex and continue to DCA into it. And I'm happy to announce that I have my book that is just about to be released. I'm gonna show you guys here a copy of the Hex Phenomenon. So the Hex Phenomenon, which was written by me, and I'm excited to have this book released at the end of June. And this book is not only just about Hex and why all the reasons that I really am a supporter of it and the code that is solid, but also this book will dive into all things crypto, teaches you about the blockchain, teaches you how to be very secure with your crypto, how to have a plan, and just everything that I've learned, I've tried to transfer into this book to add value to anybody that picks it up and reads it. So again, guys, if you support me, if you support this channel, please consider picking up a copy of the Hex Phenomenon and look for it to be out at the end of this month, June 2022. And I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. So I'm hoping I'm adding value to you guys. I'm thinking through this. I'm actually doing this in the real world. I'm talking to my groups about this, about how we can capitalize and stay focused. So again, if this is the first time to the channel, I appreciate you guys watching all the way through to the end. Please consider liking it and then subscribing and leaving me a comment, because I want to know how I could add value to you guys that continually show up and watch and support this channel. It's much appreciated. We're putting together a beginner's crypto course, so stay tuned for that, as we'll be announcing that as we develop that course over the next weeks and months ahead. So a lot of great things, a lot of things that are gonna continue to grow on this channel. So I appreciate you guys, and as always, be phenomenal. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.